Polynesia. The word alone is an invitation. Ever since they were first discovered by early explorers, these small islands scattered over the Pacific Ocean have fascinated visitors with their indisputable beauty, which evokes the myth of an earthly paradise. Yet behind such clichés lies a complex world, and a people with a long history and a diverse culture. A world of multiple facets that go far beyond the printed image of the picture postcard. From Tahiti to the Tuamotus, we're embarking on a journey to the end of the world, and in which we can look forward to some exciting encounters. About the size of Europe, Polynesia is composed of several archipelagos that stretch over an immense area of the Pacific Ocean. Bora is certainly the most famous of them. Although few people have actually been there, its name is familiar to millions of Westerners who dream of treading on its white, sandy beaches. Apart from the charm of its landscape, the lagoon is vital to the life of the island. It comes alive at dawn when the fishermen set out to sea. It's also an important means of getting from one part of the island to another, as well as for reaching the motus, the small islets formed from the coral reef that surround Bora. Today, hotels have taken over the most beautiful of the bays, yet they have not greatly infringed upon the Polynesian style of architecture, which has been preserved in the whares, traditional houses with roofs of dried pandanus leaves. Specializing in the construction of these whares, Carl and Maiva regularly visit their pandanus leaf suppliers. Moorea is one of them. He's lived with his family on Raiatea for 20 years.
We gather pandanus leaves and bring them to the sea, where they're softened. Puewe, we say in Tahitian. And then they're woven into large mats.
Pandanus are large tropical trees native to the Pacific. The leaves are not easy to handle. Moorea first rolls them around a stick that forms a base. A simple fork handle serves as a bamboo wedge.
Excellent. That's the rod. And that's the bamboo. So, there's the bamboo. And where do you find them? High up on the mountain. We go up there to cut them, but it's a long way. How long have you lived here? Oh, it's been about 20 years. Is it a good life here or is it hard? No, it's not hard. We eat well. There's fish. Yeah, there are lobsters, there are shellfish. It's paradise. You understand that? It's paradise.
The mayor of Bora, Mr. Gaston Tong Sang, has required hotels to put pandanus roofs on their stilt and pole bungalows, as well as on all other conspicuous buildings. This allows the inhabitants of Bora to have work and yearly incomes.
Contrary to what one might imagine, life on the island is calm and unspoiled. The vast majority of tourists stay on the motus with large luxury hotels. Raiatea is the principal city on Bora Bora. Just as on the neighboring islands of the archipelago, it has a few shops and a small administrative center. The legendary Mount Otimanu overlooks the lagoon at an altitude of 727 meters. Barely more accessible, the view from the top of Mount Oe is well worth it, after an ascent of 620 meters. Wherever you may be on this 9-kilometer-long island, ancient volcanoes dominate the landscape. The long airstrip is one of the many reminders of the Second World War. It was built as a strategic response to the bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1942, when the United States sent 5,000 GIs to be stationed here on the island to ensure an American presence in the Pacific. Bora Bora has inspired many songs celebrating its beauty. And it's nice for inhabitants and tourists to share them together, especially when it's time to leave. "50 kilometers further south, the island of Raiatea is quite different. Larger and wilder, it's considered the historic and sacred capital of the archipelago. Quite close to the southern village of Taputa Puatea, Landry Chu has set up his pearl farm in the middle of the lagoon. Despite a wall of imposing mountains, the place is very windy, and water is continually flowing, which is an advantage for pearl farming. To extract the pearls, an object called a nucleus is inserted into the oyster shell. This is a very delicate operation developed in Japan and which only a handful of experts master. Originally from Osaka, Yo Matsui has been working in Polynesia for almost 30 years.
Well, first of all, you need concentration. And experience. And a bit of luck.
Obtaining a legendary Polynesian pearl takes time.
With young oysters, you have to wait 3 years for the first pearl. For really beautiful pearls, it takes 6 or 7 years. After that, they get tired. But they can live a long time, more than 15 years.
Extraction is always an exciting moment, but a perfect pearl is rare.
There are a lot of surprises too. After so much work and such a long wait, it's a bit like the birth of a child. Well, the pearl market has collapsed. It's been falling for the last 10 years. We take risks now, but we're still confident in what's to come and in the work that we've done.
With its rugged landscape, Raiatea has been spared mass tourism, and therein lies its charm.
It's a large island with a small population. And it's a very big lagoon, very convivial people, and still a very authentic island.
Raiatea also has the holiest marae. It was once the religious and cultural center for a large part of Polynesia, from Hawaii and New Zealand to the Tuamotu Archipelago.
It's really the seat of knowledge of our ancestors. It's the place, the link, the connection to the gods. It gives us courage and direction. It's really part of our beliefs. According to these beliefs, this was where our ancestors' pirogues left from.
This site, dedicated to the god of war Oro, is central to the mythology of East Polynesia.
Nature gave knowledge, it gave the wind, but it took years and years to understand what the wind wanted to tell us, what the stars and the waves meant, what the currents meant. Because they studied nature. They didn't rely on maps. They observed nature and listened to it.
It was not until the 17th century that human sacrifices, as witnessed by James Cook and other European expeditions, began.
They first offered food, fish, pork. But now the story gets darker. In their heads, they thought that the gods weren't happy. So perhaps they'd try offering human flesh. And when they offered a human sacrifice, it worked. The skies cleared, and that's when human sacrifices began.
The preservation of these places of worship was tardy in a civilization that has long relied on oral transmission.
A marae is the most important thing we have. It's our strongest symbol of identity. Along with tattooing, it's our only link to the past. It's the only heritage we've left.
A recognized tattoo artist, Tahiti has turned his body into a cultural and artistic work.
When you translate the two syllables, you have ta, which means marked, and to, which means time, so you marked time. Having a tattoo in the old days was like announcing your social position. The tattoo stated who you were in society. You might be a fisherman, a king, a warrior, or a priest. It could be read in your skin. Everybody was marked in those days.
Located further east, Raiatea Bay is a tropical fjord that abounds in plantations. And it's here that Frankie Tuatiti grows high-quality vanilla. Protected from the sun by shades, the plants need a lot of time and care to mature. Another particularity with vanilla, the flowers must be pollinated by hand as soon as they bloom. This is a precise and meticulous task.
My grandfather was a vanilla farmer, and in those days, vanilla was traditionally planted on hillsides in the mountains. Today, nobody wants to go up into the mountains to plant vanilla. So we developed the idea of growing vanilla in shade houses. This gives the plant the amount of shade that it requires, and we can plant them near our homes.
After months of patience and hard work, the vanilla is harvested. It's then put in the sun for a few hours a day to slowly mature into an excellent product. At the end of the week, the whole family gets together with friends for a party. Polynesian style with singing, warmth, and good humor.
You send me signs.
Just the word Tahiti has made people dream for over 2 centuries. and to such an extent that Tahiti, the largest of the Society Islands, has become synonymous with Polynesia. Yet visitors who come for its fine sandy beaches and its crystal clear water would be wrong to stop there. For the real charm of Tahiti is elsewhere. It is found inland, in the island's uninhabited corners, in the secluded valleys. Here, where impressive volcanic peaks form a towering mountain fortress, its highest peak reaches 2,241 meters and can barely be seen through the clouds. Papeete, the capital of French Polynesia, has grown dramatically over the past 40 years. Today, it is a modern city, and its port is as much a refuge for cargo ships as it is for luxury yachts. The first missionaries landed in Tahiti in 1797. This was a turning point in the history of the island, and many spheres of Polynesian culture were lost forever. Since then, Catholic and Protestant churches have spread across the islands, like the Cathedral of Papeete. The nearby market is an important meeting place. Here, fruits and vegetables are sold, as well as a wide variety of freshly picked flowers. Arranged in magnificent wreaths and necklaces, they're offered to visitors as welcoming gifts.
Así.
Impressive murals have embellished the capital since 2014, the year when the local street art festival began. Many foreign artists have come to Tahiti to create their masterpieces, such as these two Vaine by Brazilian street artist Bora. On the outskirts of town, in the commune of Mahina, sports fans congregate round Pointe Venus, a popular spot for water sports.
Kiss, kiss her, kiss, kiss, kiss her before she leaves. Kiss, kiss him, kiss, kiss, kiss him before he leaves.
After work, whether by the sea or in town, everyone enjoys the lovely weather until sunset. Traveling towards the southern peninsula, we cross beautiful valleys with wonderful gardens. In Papeari, Jean-Baptiste grows organic vegetables. Taking advantage of very fertile land, he was able to put his training as an agronomist to good use in his quest for healthier food. Food lovers greatly appreciate his zucchinis and tomatoes.
Living on the peninsula is like living in nature. And nature is precious, as you can see in these valleys. It's calm, it's peaceful. It's a place where you can really relax. On this plot, I grow round zucchinis. There's a big demand for them in the market. So I thought, let's start growing round zucchinis as well as the long ones. So I grow the two varieties here, long and round. We don't use any chemicals here. Look, you can already see ladybirds, and that helps us to protect the plants from aphids.
Germila left her career as an executive in Tahiti to work with Jean-Baptiste on his farm. Even on these paradise islands, burnout can loom on the horizon.
People just love them. Some people make couscous out of them, or stews. That's how it is. Every delivery I make is anxiously awaited. There.
Jean-Baptiste hopes to pass on his knowledge.
You have to encourage others to develop organic farming, to become recognized, so that everyone eventually will be self-sufficient, growing quality produce and eating food they've grown themselves.
After being harvested in the morning, the vegetables are transported to Papeete, where they are eagerly awaited. Taravao is a booming city. It's located on the isthmus between Tahiti Nui, Big Tahiti, and Tahiti Iti, Small Tahiti. On this plateau, Juliette Lamy decided to set up her dairy, not far from the fields where her herds of cows graze. Given the temperatures, refrigerated lockers have replaced traditional maturing cellars.
When I came here, I was advised to make camembert. It was popular and Tahitians liked it. In the end, I came up with this cheese that has a character of its own. It has the texture of a Saint-Félicien, but it has the taste of a camembert.
The quality of the pastures that nourish the cows naturally influences the flavor of the cheese.
The grass is complex here. It's a very hot country, and it rains a lot on the plateau. Sometimes the grass is very full of water. The cows then consume a lot of water with their food. So the cheese tastes weaker and less rich in milk in a hot and humid tropical country like this. It's not the same as cheeses from alpine pastures in a temperate or even a cold climate. I don't need to regulate the humidity. In fact, it's already done. Saint-Tahitien is matured in Mantuia rum. I obviously wanted to work with the local produce, and the cheese is a product of this terroir, so it goes very well with the local rum. I also make a tome with dried papaya seeds, as well as a tome with wild pink peppercorns. And here's a new one. I've invented a morbier with uru ashes inside, breadfruit ashes.
It's dark and it's bright at the same time. It's cold and it's warm, depending on the night.
The peninsula conceals some wonderful yet little-known spots. There is no road after Tuamotu, and many places are hard to get to. You have to cross the lagoon by boat in order to reach the valleys and the towering peaks of these young mountains. Tuamotu is also the name of a legendary wave. Though the waters may seem gentle on calm days, gigantic waves reaching 5 meters in height are not uncommon. The surfing events for the 2024 Olympic Games, organized by France, will take place here. Amongst the first women to have faced the waves, Prisca Amaru is apprehensive about the Olympic Games.
It's a very good thing, but we have to remember the environment. It must remain as it's always been. We have to retain the calm side of Tuamotu with its inhabitants. The Olympic Games must not destroy this authentic life.
Young Vaine Fierro often takes on the waves at Tuamotu, and she'll undoubtedly be one of the young favorites in these games. Further south, there are some very impressive gorges, each one more spectacular than the last.
Dark and it's bright at the same time. It's cold and it's warm.
This is where the lagoon starts to narrow.
If I love, I die at the same time.
At the extremity of the island, it's impossible to make a landing. The vegetation is so dense that no one could live there. Here, nature has reclaimed its rights, and the island is protected by a barrier of coral and by winds that are often very strong. It would be foolhardy indeed to sail along this coast during a storm. Facing Tahiti, Moorea is well known for its triangular shape that resembles a shark's tooth. Less than 20 kilometers separate the two islands, but they are very different. Moorea's charm lies in a subtle blend of its rugged volcanic peaks, a turquoise lagoon, luxuriant vegetation, and its calm and relaxing atmosphere. Prisca has opened her surf school near Raiatea on the eastern coast of the island. This morning she takes 4 students to her favorite spot near her house. Nevertheless, they still have to paddle about 1 kilometer to reach the spot. A former surfing vice champion of Polynesia, Prisca has traveled the world, but today she's returned to live in her native village.
Running a school in Moorea is an enormous challenge, both physically and mentally. It's hard work to give lessons on the reef, but it's my world. It's here I grew up. In Tahiti, in Polynesia, it's often the women who earn the household money. They also look after the children. Women have an important place in the family here. Polynesian women are like that. They take charge of things. It's they who run things here.
After a good warm-up, they reach the spot, and Prisca sets up her floating base. And now the lesson can finally begin.
This coast, the southeastern coast of Moorea, is very well preserved. It's the part of the island where there are still local families.
On the western coast, Raiatea is home to the Church of the Holy Family, built in 1897. Its tall twin towers, highlighted against a verdant background, and the soaring peak of Mount Moorea have always inspired painters and photographers.
The place I like to go in Moorea is Opunoho Bay. I simply love this spot. It's perfectly calm. You have the quiet bay, and you have all these trees, these large trees. You get the impression that you're all alone in the middle of nature. I really like to unwind there.
Opunoho Bay is undoubtedly one of the treasures of the island. From the heights of Belvedere Point, there's a stunning panoramic view of Opunoho Bay, as well as neighboring Cook's Bay, which is equally well known, although shallower. Prospering on the nearby slopes, pineapple fields are the pride of the island. To the east of Tahiti, the Tuamotu Archipelago stretches over 1,700 kilometers and is composed of 76 atolls. These ring-shaped islands encircle a central lagoon. Rangiroa is the most well-known. Its lagoon, the second largest in the world, is a veritable inland sea. Its exceptional rich marine fauna makes Rangiroa a paradise for scuba divers. The local population is concentrated in a narrow band of about 10 kilometers. Avatoro is the main village. It nestles close to the pass and its rolling waves. Rangiroa's population has slowly decreased since the 15th century. The island has unfortunately suffered many destructive tsunamis, as well as repeated wars against the neighboring atoll of Ana. Amongst the island's regulars, James has installed his workshop. Both a sculptor and a tattooist, he is a complete artist who both interprets and brings to life his clients' ideas. Although Tuamotuan identity is evident in his work, his motifs are also inspired by other Polynesian cultures, from the Marquesas Island to Hawaii.
I'm going to tattoo the life story of a friend. It's his history. Everybody has a history. His history represents travel and the family, family support, a lot of family support. There, that's an arm, a forearm. And that's half the back of a woman, and that is a whole back. I work with wood, bone, stones, and human beings. We've changed it here. He wants to add a tiki. He wants a tiki that represents the protection of women.
Once the motif is defined, James makes an initial outline to create the contours.
When people see it, they'll say it's beautiful, but they don't actually know what this tattoo really means.
Mototaeo is an hour away from Avatoru by boat. In the 17th century, it was used as a refuge by the inhabitants of Rangiroa during the height of their struggles against the atoll of Ana. But the site is best known for its Blue Lagoon, a small but incredible lagoon within a lagoon. Further south, the Île au Récif, or Reef Island, has some spectacular coral formations, veritable walls of fossils. The fossilized corals that you saw on the Île au Récif are the result of an interaction of two tectonic plates. The tectonic plate on which the Society Islands were formed and the much older plate which contains the Tuamotu Islands. Don't forget that at one time the Tuamotus were similar to the Society Islands. Returning to the main Motu, we're welcomed by the Mairo family. Moeani is 18. She creates various objects from flowers, such as these highly scented necklaces.
Here we have some bougainvillea, tiare flowers and mint.
When you offer a necklace, what does it mean?
Welcome. For a very long time. I started when I was 8 and now I'm 18.
Who taught you?
My grandmother. I gather the coconut leaves from behind the house, I cut them, and I make them into a circle.
She ends up with a hat, very useful for working out of doors.
I like living here. We have a bit of everything. Nothing's missing. And I like that a lot.
From behind her house, Moehani also gathers copra. She split the coconuts last night, and now she's extracting the flesh.
Yes, it's already a bit dry. When it dries out, it turns sort of gray. It's sent to an oil mill in Tahiti, where it's transformed into coconut oil. Many women make copra here. It's a real breadwinner.
What do you use it for?
I use it in my hair and on my body. And I also use it as medicine.
As a treatment for what?
Coughing.
A few hundred meters from the house, the famous Tiputa Pass dominates the extremity of the Motu. Dolphins and sharks are the star attractions at one of the most beautiful diving sites on the planet, particularly during the flux and reflux of the lagoon into the ocean. When the tides change, the currents increase and offer the dolphins a perfect playground. But for divers from around the world, the main attraction of the lagoon is the famous Wall of Sharks. When the incoming current increases, then stabilizes, there's a large black mass, a real mass, that approaches the entrance to the pass. The first time I saw it, I didn't know what it was. And then you see it divide. The mass simply explodes. It's a wall of grey reef sharks that swarm in. It's incredible, simply incredible. Yet Hugo doesn't see any particular danger in it. Well, first of all, the water's always very, very clear. Always. There are no rivers or murky waters nearby.
And secondly, there's a lot of fish, so the sharks are well fed. There's a boundless supply of food for them.
But the sharks don't have a monopoly on the pass. Their cartilaginous cousins, the giant manta rays called sea devils, also swarm around by the dozens. About 50 kilometers away, the Tikeo Atoll can't be beaten for scenery. Raiatea, the only village on the island, consists of 2 parallel streets where all the local activity is concentrated. And calm reigns. With a few brush strokes, Maeva finishes a hand-painted fabric.
Mais bon, c'est génial, on a été ramasser 9 cocos chez toi, hein. C'était le plus près. On a ramassé 9 cocos alors. Si tu peux petit spray pour le tissu.
These are called sheets, but they're blankets to be put on a bed. Pareos aren't the same, because they're at least 1.40 meters long. Then we paint the designs on top. You see? I started at 7 o'clock. That makes 7 hours. In another 4 or 5 hours, I'll be finished for the day.
Maeva has more than one string to her bow. She also makes jewelry from seashells that she gathers from both along the lagoon as well as from the ocean. Making these beautiful necklaces takes both patience and precision. The shells from the 2 sides of the atoll are quite different.
This one's from the reef side, and that from the ocean side. Yes, you see?
But the shores of the atolls are not always so hospitable. The coral reefs contain dangerous formations, such as the locally famous cloche de Ina. Whether in a boat or swimming, it's best to stay clear of them. Around 1850, missionaries encouraged planting coconut groves in order to increase copra production. Today, Maeva and Jacques-Henri continue the practice.
In 3 days, I'll remove the flesh from the shell, then I'll dry it in the sun for about a week.
The gesture he makes must be firm and precise to avoid any risk of injury. Many families rely on this poorly paid activity to survive. Monette has come to meet friends at the airport wearing a tiara of flowers in her hair.
The flowers come from my own garden, from my bougainvillea. For us, a crown of flowers makes us beautiful. It's the crown that makes us beautiful. What if we didn't have one?
You send me signs to signify that you lie in every beam of light, and I feel you.
Tikio combines all the ingredients of an idealized paradise. But more than just its enchanting scenery, it's the tranquility of the uninhabited motus and a feeling of plenitude that are its most valuable assets.
Come as a bee or a butterfly, well down as leaves to pave the way on my ground.
After a 40-minute boat ride, we reached Tuamotu Pass, the only pass in the atoll. Only 4 families live all year long on this fisherman's motu. Mateho has lived and worked in Tahiti, but he left it all to return to the island of his childhood.
I don't miss anything. There's no television here, only radio. Every day I go to sea and fish. It's a simple lifestyle. We live simply. I spent all my childhood here. All the fish I've caught are here, tattooed on my back. All the fish that I've caught since I started fishing with my father. And the others, a bit of marquesan, a little bit of everything. It's my entire life. We fish a lot with spear guns. We often use them. And when we fish offshore, it's a little more dangerous. There are silver-tipped sharks and grey reef sharks, and both of these sharks are rather aggressive. Well, you get used to it. You have to be careful, though. It can be dangerous. The last swordfish I ever caught weighed more than 500 kilos. I caught it in Tahiti. I was fishing with my little brother and 2 of my friends. It took 2.5 hours to bring it in.
Today the sun is shining brightly, but it may be an illusion. When a storm occurs, the conditions on this small coral reef can become very violent. A few dozen meters away is Benoit's house. He's the oldest fisherman on the motus. His companion has decorated their abode with taste.
I've always lived here. I was born here.
Every day, Benoit crosses the pass to inspect his fish traps.
Colors have the substance of life, substance of a real life. Sounds
The traps are built so that the fish can swim in but can't get out.
blurred as clouds.
This very simple method of fishing is a primitive form of aquaculture, and it allows to keep the fish alive at little cost until they can be sold.
There are fewer fish than before. Fish have become rarer since the 1983 cyclone. It's as if the entire climate has changed. When I was a child, I used to come here. There were lots and lots of fish. But today, there are fewer and fewer fish. It's sad, but that's just how it is. I'm really more worried for the next generation. Every day I dive into the water to see if there are any moray eels or sharks, if there are any tears in the net, to make sure the fish can't escape. And on the way back I select a good fish to eat.
At the port of Raiatea, children play while their parents await the arrival of the freighter that's due to dock early in the evening.
Compared to Tahiti, there's everything you need. In Tahiti, you can't go to the sea whenever you want to, but here, you can go to the sea, prepare copra whenever you want to.
Benoit fills coolers with fish and sends them by the day plane. Too fragile to be sent by boat, his catch will be sold fresh tomorrow morning at the Papete market. As night falls, the dory finally docks. Regardless of the weather conditions, the ship ensures weekly sea links between the major islands of the archipelago and Tahiti. All the inhabitants of the island gather on the quays to recuperate the food and supplies that they've ordered. And it is in their company that we end our journey across Polynesia, having but glimpsed its numerous treasures. The profusion of its cultures, the richness of its traditions, and the indescribable beauty of its scenery will long remain embedded in our memories, as an enticement to come back again someday.